right, welcome to Horror Dork Live, our classic episode where we're talking about 2012 Stitches.
Oh yeah,
I'm Anthony,
I'm Mr. Sir.
and we've got the show of a lifetime. No, no, but we do have a good podcast for you today.
Yes.
At least we like to think so.
Yeah.
We're a little
I like
conceited
I like to
sometimes.
think that we're good.
We're good.
So Stitches is has a funny history with us. That was the first episode of Horror Dork that Anthony and I did together. My first podcast I ever did.
Oh, that was your
That.
first podcast
Oh
ever?
yeah, yep.
Okay.
I never even really listened to podcasts before I was on Horror Dork.
Really? That
Yeah.
was
2013.
January?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I started Horror Dork in 2012. I remember it funny. I don't think I've ever told this story before ever. So I had the idea for Horror Dork since like 2010,
Okay.
maybe even before that. I wanted to start podcasting back in 2005, but it seemed impossible. I just had no idea how to go about it, how to do it.
Right.
I'm
It was
not
a
even.
lot harder back then,
I'm not even going to tell
especially to
you
like get an audience.
how I tried to do it back in like 2007 or 8 because it was awful and it was stupid and it'll make me look way more dumb than I already perceive. People already perceive me as. But
I
so
know all about that. You gotta bury that stuff so it can't hurt anybody else.
unless you're a patron, of course, because you'll have access to some of
Oh
that.
yeah, you'll have access
At
to
least the horror dork
my
stuff.
my old dumb thoughts.
That's how I feel about myself.
Stuff that I listen to. I'm like, why did I say that? Why did I think those
Or
things?
you know what? You know what the other interesting thing is? I'll get back to my backstory here in a second, but some of the interesting thing is since we've been preparing this archive for our patrons and stuff, is I'm thinking like, man, that's such a clever thought. Where did that go? Like, how did I get so far from that? And then most of the time,
or you'll be listening to it and you'll have the thought before you said it,
yeah.
or before one of us said it. You're like, what if that happened? And then the next, like in a minute, you fucking say that, and you're like, oh, all right, well,
Yeah. So like 2012 was here, and I promise we'll get to the movie here pretty quick. This is a very short story. But I had this need, this rush, the need to fulfill. For some reason, I felt it was so important to have like the 2012 year as like starting date. So when 2013 rolled around, I thought I was so clever. It would look like we had been around for a year. So like I think November, I started I started recording Horror Dork episodes before I even had the equipment that you came and recorded on.
oh, really?
No, I had like a Zoom H2 and there was
Oh,
like 5
okay.
of us and
Oof.
yeah, we sat in a room not close to the microphone either. And
Oh, the same room.
same room, like
Okay.
the living room that you not
Yeah.
even the dining room table. It was the living room. Yeah. And I think
Pretty far apart.
yeah, did you watch The Apparition?
No.
Okay, so like some of the episodes were like
The first movie I watched with you guys was Stitches.
yeah. Okay, I remember that because I remember it was like Stitches, Birdemic.
Yeah, those were like some of the
What was
first
the
ones we did.
sequel there? It was so awful. Blair Witch 2.
Yeah. Yep. Oh man, bad movie.
Um,
Bad movie.
yeah. So I wasn't sure where the apparition fit into that. If that was, but we did like Neil Marshall's The Descent stuff, and then we started.
Okay.
Then I was like, let's go with new releases, even though I love The Descent. We did
Yeah.
like Dog Soldiers and stuff. We did like because I was gonna go by director, like go through the whole director's
Oh, like blank check.
library and like yeah, kind of go back and like look how
Yeah.
the director progressed and stuff. And I don't know why I got away from that.
Neil Marshall, that one gets a little rough near the end.
You think so?
I don't know. Like some of his newer movies aren't the ones that I've seen aren't really that great. I did sort of like Hellboy. That one is like fun bad. It's like dumb, but it's like really violent. And I think David Harbour is a good Hellboy. He's got the look and he's kind of got like the attitude and everything. It's just like the movie doesn't like just goes off the rails and like just becomes like so out of control. Like it doesn't have like I understand like Mike Mignola was not happy with sort of happy with how Guillermo del Toro did Hellboy. It was like because it was so far from the source material, he kind of made it his own thing. But
Yeah.
I like those. I like those. I love. I would go ahead and say I love those movies, especially the second one. The second
Well,
one,
why don't you just marry them
I
already?
wish I could. The law won't let me marry Hellboy and Hellboy 2, the Golden Army.
So yeah, so 2012, I tried to pump it out. It was awful. I ended up buying a Behringer mixer and a few microphones, dynamic microphones. Actually, those were like 35 bucks for three of them, and
The
they
sound was
lasted
really
like
good.
8 years,
We
and the
got we
sound
got
was not bad.
Yeah, we got I would always get compliments from people, like, people that I know listen to the show,
We
they're like
won't anymore. Like if we put those episodes out today,
No, no, definitely not,
but
like,
back then it was,
yeah, it was good for 2013 to about what, like, 2017, 18.
yeah, yeah. But
Started getting a little funky near the end, but
now we got a bunch of new equipment.
oh, yeah.
Well,
We're brand new men.
yeah, brand new men. I like it. Okay, so we'll get to that movie now. We've kept you waiting long enough. 2012 Stitches.
Yes.
I don't know. I think I enjoyed it more than I did back in 2012.
I think so too. I don't think it was as funny as I thought it was back then, because I think my sense of humor has changed a little bit. Because it is like sort of like real broad slapstick humor. Like it's an Irish film, so it has like that kind of like English sensibility with like humor and stuff. But I thought that it's shot really well. It looks really good. The story is it's a little sweaty, but it's not any sweatier than like a typical horror movie is.
What do you mean when you say sweaty?
Like the whole clown thing feels a little weird and sweaty.
Okay,
And it just doesn't it seems like I don't know. It, it doesn't feel like I do like the mythology. It just sort of feels
it's real. I mean,
what are you talking about?
the whole like egg thing though is real.
The egg thing is real?
Yeah.
I know Golden isn't here. He has AIDS and
Look,
he's dying.
he doesn't have AIDS. Okay, so he's getting robot feet because he wants to be able to play basketball. We told him it's a far shot getting into the NBA with regular human feet that are very athletic, let alone untested robot feet.
I mean, these are like they're like Inspector Gadget kind of feet where he can like they like telescope
Go
out
go basketball feet.
so he can like be like tall, and they have like springs on the bottom of them so he can like bounce and jump up high like Slam Dunk Ernest, the classic
It
film.
makes me nervous with him jumping because of his osteoporosis. Golden's old. It's an ongoing joke, but he's not with us this week. He'll be here next week because we will drag him here if he
Yes.
decides to get more robotic surgery.
We'll get a big metal. We'll get a big magnet and pull his ass here.
All right. So, but yeah, the egg thing, like that's how they copyright their face paint.
Okay. Well, he didn't really have like a very original clown face paint. It was just like two lines and a smile, and then like a
He wasn't even into it because in the beginning of the movie, he's telling his lady friend, I don't know, that
his lady friend,
she's friends with all the
a
clowns.
clown groupie.
Yeah, and he's like, when I became a clown, they made me paint my face on the stupid thing.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's just a job for him. Obviously, he's like, I gotta go do some dumb wanker's birthday party, and he stops making sweet, passionate love to this groupie, and he drives off, sprays some aerosol
Well, he forgets to shut the
conditioner
door
too on his crotch.
on his way out
Oh,
because she yells at him. She's like, "Shut the damn door!" He just keeps running.
and a little bit of foreshadowing on his the headlight on his car has a cross on the one on the right side of it on the headlight, just like how he is about to become.
This movie parallels itself very well. It sets stuff up and it pays off.
So, do you think that this movie was inspired by Nightmare on Elm Street? I feel like the Stitches is a very kind of Freddy, and there's like nightmare sequences, and the main character Tommy takes hypnosil.
Does it say Hypnosil?
It says Hypnosil on the bottle. I
I
noticed that.
think that the actors and the director, at least Ross
Ross Noble,
Ross
who plays
Noble,
Stitches, he's an Irish comedian.
I think Ross Noble is a fan of horror movies, somewhat
He was
because
in Nails as well. Did you see Nails?
yeah,
Nails was cool.
look at how he portrays Stitches down to the movement. You know,
Yeah, he's very good. He's committed to it.
yeah,
He's not phoning it in. He's very funny. He's funny as like the guy like before he becomes Stitches, like before he become well, he is Stitches the clown, but before he becomes like the undead, you know, monster guy, slasher dude.
I
Um
could see the director Connor McMahon being heavily inspired by
yeah,
Nightmare on Elm Street.
like that the thing that first gave it away before, like he's killed by kids, so he comes back as revenge to the not the kids' parents, but the kids
Yeah,
themselves.
I was gonna say that's a little different, but I mean, it definitely
And the
falls.
Hypnocell was also like, oh yeah, this guy loves Nightmare on Elm Street.
We just discussed 2022's Nope about it subverting tropes. S- This movie doesn't subvert them, but it plays into them, and it doesn't try to do it pretentiously.
No, it's a very it wears its heart on its sleeve kind of movie. It's very, you know, it's not trying to be dumb. Except when it is trying to be dumb. Some of the jokes are kind of dumb and gross,
Yeah.
but
See, that's the problem. I don't think you should ever try to be funny during a kill sequence.
yeah, I mean that can. But the movie never really tries to be scary. Like if it was trying to be like it is more of a comedy than it is horror. It's like and also another movie that I think is this movie is inspired by is Dead Alive with like how the effects are and everything and with the humor and all that.
Well, I think because of the humor, they played into the kills. You know, like they
Yeah,
didn't cut away. Like they're like, we have a lot of humor in this movie, and for the most part, the kills are played somewhat seriously. There is like I'm thinking about the umbrella kill here and stuff where it's a little jokey.
or
Um,
when he pulls out the guy's intestines and makes a
makes this
baboon
balloon head.
dog out of it.
Um, but I just feel like it was a good choice to go over the top with the gore.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a head explosion that gives scanners a run for its money.
So I guess most of the time, and like just because we just discussed Nope, where Jordan Peele in that movie he pulled away a lot and left it to the imagination. It's tough when you because it gets silly when you
Yeah.
add gore in. You know, it really does. That's why I think some of the Friday the 13th are taken as serious as
Oh yeah, for
for
sure.
from
Once they
like outsiders, you know, people
yeah,
outside the
I
genre.
mean once Jason becomes, the unkillable monster machine, it does like become sort of like a let's just see how the kills can be. Let's see how crazy we can make these kills as opposed to like parts like 1 through 4
Yeah.
where it is like it's not serious but it is like more of like a straight up more played as scary, whereas like from part 6 actually like part 5 on, it's just like a showcase of deaths.
So let me ask you a question here since we're talking about Friday the 13th and
Yeah.
it kind of ties into Stitches and Stitches is a slasher movie.
Yeah,
Um
with an undead guy.
yeah, with an undead guy. Two-part question. One, what's your favorite Friday the 13th? I already know the answer to this, but I just want to get it out there. But I don't know the second question, which is what do you think is the best Friday the 13th?
My favorite Friday the 13th is part 7.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was part 6.
Part 6
Because
was
part
for a
7 is my
while, but
favorite too.
part 7, I don't know. I've warmed up on that one. I rewatched them all recently, and well, within
Plus
the year, I've rewatched it.
how many times do we hang out and I put on part 7, you know?
Yep, and it's really warmed up on me. I like that version of Jason. I know a lot of people don't like Monster Jason, but do like Monster Jason. What the best one is,
Like if you're
movie
going
wise,
overall, like as a film,
probably part two.
part two,
Yeah,
not
part
part four.
part two or four.
Or
It's a split. Like they're both those
what
two
about
are
part
like
one?
part one. Part one's a good movie, but it's not like that one isn't like my favorite, or I don't even really I don't know. I don't really think about part one too much. For me, Friday the 13th is Jason. And it I don't know. That one just feels like a weird honestly, like I don't know. This is a weird opinion to have, but part one sort of feels like a weird prequel movie.
Probably because now you have the remake in your brain.
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know. Uh, but what do you think gives to artistic merit compared to the other sequels?
It looks good. I think it has a good score. Jason is a more is more like a more realistic menace in that movie. He's scarier, I think. Um because he does just sort of become like the more like iconic like slasher guy once he puts on the hockey mask. You kind of can't differentiate from that. But when he's got the bag on his head, he looks terrifying.
And you get a very, very strong protagonist in Amy Steele's character.
That's the other thing is the final girl in that is
By
a
far the
lot
best in
better.
the
Yeah, yeah,
series.
yeah, for sure.
But okay, so back to scissors. So I was just curious. Do you think there's artistic merit to Stitches based off of the stuff that you think goes into part two?
I th- I think so.
Part two of Friday the 13th.
I think so. It's tough to say because the the characters in this are sort of detestable. Um, except for the main guy,
What's his name? Tommy
Tommy. Yeah,
and Kate
Kate is the his crush. Because his friend is gross.
Vince,
Yeah, I think so. The rat face
the rat face
guy.
guy who in the dream sequence who gets his nether region,
Yeah, yeah.
which
Which is a like a very
very
like Freddy thing to do.
there
I'm
is.
gonna take your dick off, bitch.
Well, the teacher doesn't say that,
No, he doesn't.
but
He says something like along those
yeah,
lines,
I can't
but
remember. He kisses it after he rips it off, but it's very hairless.
yeah,
Did you notice
yeah,
that?
yeah,
I don't know why that stood out to
there's
me.
a very fake looking phallus, penis and balls.
It was a cool effect.
It
Um,
was
the special effects of this movie are awesome.
really good looking. Yeah, all of them are good looking. All the kills are good. Um, s- so we didn't really get into what happened with Stitches. So he's at Tommy's birthday party, and all of his friends are there, and they're all little bastards, and they're messing with him. And he gets while he's in the kitchen. I don't remember exactly what happens, but he trips and falls, and he lands face first on a knife from the dishwasher, which is propped open. And he stands up and he's got a knife sticking out of his eye. And he looks at Tommy, pulls the knife out, and he goes to stab him and he slips on his blood. And the knife falls down right back onto the eye, creating like an X effect on his face, which kills him. And Tommy then witnesses the secret clown funeral because he lives across the street from the cemetery.
Was it a clown funeral or a resurrection rite?
I don't know if it was a resurrection rite or if it was just what they do with dead clowns, what they do when they put their eggs in there. Because what seems to activate Stitches later is because the so he sneaks down there and he gets caught by the clowns and they menace him and tell him a clown's job is never done if he never finishes a party. Something along those lines. And
So I think this is something they had to do because he didn't get to finish his party.
yes, so they put his egg in the that's in the case amongst all these other eggs in the clown mausoleum, which is locked with a clown padlock. There's a lot of good little
like the clown
like
coin.
they didn't really like half-ass anything in this movie. There's the padlock that's like closing the gate. When they go to it later, Tommy tries to open it. It has a clown face on
It does.
it. Yeah, it does. Very. This movie's got a lot of like funny little details in it. So it then cuts to 6 years later, and they're all teenagers, and Tommy's birthday's coming up again, and his friends want to throw him a party, but he's petrified
Right.
of Stitches still, as he should be.
Not just
Turns
Stitches,
out,
like any clown in
yeah,
general.
clowns in general. Which who could blame him?
Right. What do you think is the what do you think this movie does the best? Because I'll tell you what, I think the transitions in this movie are something that should be studied in film school
Yeah,
because
I
they're
think so.
yeah, like okay, so for example, I think it's Tommy or whoever goes to pop a zit, and then it cuts to
Oh
her
yeah,
splatting an egg.
that was so gross.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, you're
the
right.
the sex sequence with the umbrellas,
Yes.
yeah, correlating with
Yeah, you're right. I did notice that where they would like where the editing would like cut between two things
right. Even
that sort of
even the
like
way the
synced up.
sorry, even the way the two girls fall onto the bed is cut so well.
Yeah.
The only movie I can think that has like usually my go-to suggestion for transitions in movies, I guess, is Silence of the Lambs because it's so well done. But this movie, I just forgot how good the transitions were in
A
this.
really good transition is Me, Myself, and Irene when Jim Carrey goes to take a dump on his neighbor's lawn, and it cuts to
The
a
sauce.
guy getting a chocolate soft serve.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So disgusting. I saw that movie in theaters. It was really something to see that on a big screen. A
No,
lot of the parts in that movie were sights to behold.
and the special effects and stitches
Oh,
are good. But
that's probably what my answer is those effects for what is you can tell is a low budget movie. Those effects are next level.
right,
They're really effective. They're, like even for a movie that's now
11 years
11
old.
years old, they're all practical. They're none like the only stuff that looked like maybe like they did maybe sometimes was blood CGI, but even that was like maybe splatters. It wasn't for anything.
Yeah, like
If
the
anything
nose
was
was
on,
CGI a couple parts,
yeah,
the eyeball, the
yes.
one part. Um,
But like when he expands that kid's head and it explodes, that was all real and it looked awesome.
so one interesting thing um that I made me want to go back and watch. As I watched this, I was thinking about the effects and the digital and the mixing. I got to thinking of a older movie that did the same thing. I can't remember. Whoa, man, just had a huge thought chamber here. Like it just, my thought escaped me. The name of the movie. The sequel is it Rest in Peace? No, what is it? The Chrome Skull.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Do you remember the name of those movies?
Laid to rest.
Laid to Rest. I don't
Chrome
know
Skull's the
why.
sequel.
Yeah, yeah. Um.
I never saw that movie.
Oh, you never seen that?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Really? Nope, I've never
I
seen
thought we
those
did
age
that for
movies.
Horror Dork.
No. We were talking about doing it because I think I said I never saw it before. I think it was on the docket
I
and
mean,
we just never got to it.
honestly, as far as Laid to Rest goes, I do enjoy the movies. I don't think the storytelling or the plot's anything to write home about, but the effects are really cool, and they really do. At least back then, I haven't seen the movies in 10
Was that the guy
plus
that did
years.
Ponypool? Or am I thinking of somebody else? Ponypool is an excellent
No,
movie.
he did like Lightning Bug.
Okay. All right. I don't know
I
that
don't know if
one.
he did.
I might be thinking of
But
somebody else.
so I'd like to go back and see if those effects still hold up because I don't remember the CGI standing out when I watched Stitches.
No, I mean, if there were, they used it very sparingly, like how you're
This time, the
supposed to.
CGI stood out.
Yeah. I mean, that's just our eyes. you
Right.
know,
Yeah. We're
getting
used to seeing because I mean, CGI is going to look fake.
yeah.
In
Oh
10 years
yeah.
from now, the CGI we think looks amazing. I guarantee it's going to look fake.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's when you saw like a Nintendo 64 or whatever, you're like, God damn, that looks good. And now you look at it, it's like the most muddy looking crap ever. Like
Yes.
like GoldenEye.
Like Cold Winter and PS2. I remember I thought those graphics were so amazing. Anyways, I just I'm curious as to what the thought process was for the original idea for the script because it's neat. Like the storytelling in Stitches is neat. It's tied to one location, which is perfect. I mean, there's like the school sequence and stuff like that.
Yeah.
By the way, I learned an interesting bit of trivia for Stitches. That actor who plays the principal, he has the
Yeah,
weird
yeah,
haircut.
yeah.
They did that because the director Connor McMahon went to film school with that actor, and you couldn't use other people. You had to use like outside talent or whatever. So they gave him that haircut and those glasses. And I don't know. I'd love to hear if that actually worked. But since then, it's like a recurring joke with those two
Gotcha.
guys because it is a really weird haircut. It's
It's
like
so strange
cut
looking.
in super far back in the front. Doesn't even match his hairline, and then cut super far up from the back, and it's just slicked over.
It's like yeah, it's like if you had a comb over, but the only spot you had was like that little front right in the
Yeah,
front.
you
And
can see
you were
like
completely
the
bald
rest of the
everywhere
head's
else.
buzz is not even bald. Um, but what was I saying that got me? Oh, the different locations, the skip, dude, my can't talk. So
Okay.
the script is so well tied together, even though there's nothing really groundbreaking or phenomenal that happens in this movie. It's tied to one location for two of the three acts. The beginning sets up the whole entire movie. It's like
Yeah.
filmmaking 101 that most films today don't even get right. Like all of the ways that the kids heckled the clown was how they were killed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's so cool.
It is, and there's little other little things like oh, what did she say? When what's his name? The kid with where he peed himself, the bully kid.
Yeah.
And Stitches goes, "Got your ear? What's behind your ear?" He pulls off his whole
Yeah.
ear.
Yeah.
I don't remember what
Because
was.
remember he dumped the liquid in the hat, so then he pulls a hair out of his throat. You
Yeah,
just have a
yeah.
hair in your throat, and he pulls out the rabbit.
Yeah, he's very Freddy.
Yeah, it's like he was kind of like the outcast kid in the serial killer school, and Freddy kind of befriended him, and it's just like maybe Freddy's taking time off, and Stitches is like, "I'm gonna go kill some people for you, Freddy." It's
I'm
cool.
gonna go kill some little buggers. These
For
little
fuck's sake.
wankers.
He says that so much. For fuck's
For
sake,
fuck's sake.
are we happy?
How come they never made a sequel?
I don't know.
Do you
I'm not,
think
I'm not sure.
I would think that they would definitely do another one.
Did it, maybe the amount of money the movie made,
No, that's true.
but even for because I'm trying to think back to 2012, the movies that came out. This movie to me seemed like it made a lot of buzz, but maybe
Yeah,
not outside the horror community.
maybe not, but like that was like
I mean,
the
this movie's
age.
still streaming in 2023.
Yeah, it's one of those movies, and it came out like during like the heyday of you know DVDs coming out on like horror DVDs and stuff. I was buying stuff back then. You were buying stuff
Yeah, we were
to
buying it for the
watch.
podcast. Remember, every
Yeah.
Tuesday we
So,
pick a new
like,
release.
Anthony is one of the only people on the planet that owns a copy of Stranded starring Christian
Not
Slater.
anymore, bro. That such a sad story. Speaking of history lessons here, I had sold like 200 of my movies for $1 a piece because I needed cash when I moved out to Utah. And
Yeah.
dude, such a huge chunk of my collection. I kept some stuff, like stuff that I knew was worth a lot of money. Like,
Someone bought
like,
Stranded for $1.
like
It's not that movie's not worth $1.
I think it was just like, oh, you got 200 movies, I'll give you
Yeah,
200
yeah,
bucks,
okay,
take it
I
or leave it.
gotcha.
You know, he didn't even
Yeah,
look what's
yeah.
in there. I had like Pod and stuff that I don't know. Forgot about that movie.
Oof. Yeah, I did too. Not
Um,
I remember it now.
yeah, but some of the stuff I kept is like I still have that Dawn of the Dead 5 disc collection. It has like the
Oh,
European
yeah,
cut
yeah.
and all that. There's certain things that I made sure I held on to. Now I'm just buying back stuff I sold. It, so sad looking back on it. But yes, my old copy of Stitches was in there. Stranded, luckily, was there. Some stuff was like a little bit of a blessing in disguise. Like, no one needs a copy of Stranded.
No, no.
Not even Christian Slater, and he starred in it.
Yeah, he probably doesn't put that one on his resume.
It'd be funny if he
Like
did.
it's like interview with a vampire, uh Mr. Robot. Should I put should I put Stranded on there?
Yeah, he has to contemplate it. Oh, what do you think is your favorite kill in the movie? In Stitches.
The head explosion is really next level. Stitch's death is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
They smash his egg and he turns and then breaks up like an egg
I
himself.
thought that was
Like
super cool. Like
egg
he's
yolks,
exploding, yeah.
egg yolks spraying out of him.
Yeah. And then he turns into like a fried egg, his face at the end.
Yeah, it's really really a neat effect.
There's so much. I'm trying to think here. There's at least 5 full or half body prosthesis that they had to make for this film.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine all those actors. Like you're just seeing, like, because they're good replicas of them. Like,
Yeah, like
good
sticking the
reproduction.
stuff out of their face, like the girl that gets the umbrella through her face.
Well,
Pardon me.
I'm
The
not
guy that gets his
100%
wiener ripped off.
sure how much of that was more of just they attached an umbrella to her face as
Right.
created a hole. But I mean, like for Stitches, they had to make Ross Noble's face.
Right, and then the head explode.
And you got to look at your face on the ground as a splattered egg.
You probably thought that was cool.
Yeah, I hope. Well, I was gonna say, I hope they still have that exploding head prosthesis, but it exploded. They put a little
Right.
quarter stick of dynamite or something in there.
Yeah, and they showed it blow up a couple times. They got their money's worth.
Yeah. Did you notice? Well, I guess. s- Never mind.
Okay.
But I will talk about the cat. Why
Okay.
does he kill the cat?
Yeah, that was messed up.
I mean, I don't care. Like, I'm fine with animal death on screen as long as it's not real. But
Right.
I'm not one of those people that are like, kill all the humans you want, but the second you mess with a dog, blah, 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 blah." No, it's fine. I mean, if you're one of those people, that's fine too.
Give them the old equilibrium
just
treatment.
for me,
Just line them up.
yeah, just for me, it doesn't make too much of a difference. Um, as long as it's not real, like
Right.
cannibal.
Cannibal Holocaust style.
I still have nightmares about that freaking turtle.
It's
It's
gross.
just the noise it makes.
The noise it makes is messed up. The noise, the other thing the wombat thing that they got
Yeah, okay.
for whatever reason.
So, but why does he kill the cat? Because he only kills the kids that messed with him.
Right.
Did
I
the
think-
cat do something in the beginning? I don't remember.
I don't think so. I think he was in the zone.
Well, for having, I don't know. There's a scene, like if you watch when he brings the cat back down to the right after like life 6, because he's smashing this thing. He's like,
Yeah, he's
how many lives you got left? What?
Jason
2, 3.
with the
Yeah.
with the sleeping bag.
So he brings the cat around, and it looks like a stuffed animal, dude.
Yeah.
It does not even look like a fake cat or nothing.
No, and I mean sometimes those affect like it's played for laughs, so it's okay. Sometimes that's okay when
Yeah.
stuff looks fake.
Yeah, and it's
Like,
fine. I didn't have a problem with it, but I just thought it was
It
hilarious.
reminds me of
Must have ran out of money for the budget.
in Orgasmo when the goons come to beat up Trey Parker's friend that owns the Asian restaurant, and when they're beating him up, it's literally just a fake dummy in like the guy's clothes, and they just like shove it through a fish tank, and they don't even like try to make it look like it's a guy. It's so funny.
Yeah, there's like a sequence or something in a movie, right, where it shows a dummy like falling off a building or a bridge or something, and they don't even try to hide the fact it's a dummy, and they show it for like 30 seconds.
There's a movie called Robo Vampire, and it's like a
Yeah,
really
that's what I'm thinking of.
yeah, it's a really cheap bad I don't even know what kind of movie it is. It's like two movies spliced together. One half is like a RoboCop knockoff, and the other is like a drug dealing movie. And in the drug dealing movie, a guy gets thrown off a roof, and it literally just looks like a shirt and a pair of pants tied together with like stuffing inside of it. And they like show it like kind of far away, but you can see that it's not a person. It doesn't even like have a head. Bad movie. It's funny bad, but it's not good.
So the kid, I don't know how I can remember all these names, but the kid Richie, he's supposed to be the fat joke of the movie.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, one of the fat jokes.
Him,
He makes fun of the chunky girl too.
him driving away or driving like literally 10 feet, his mom does to drop him off for school. And he lives right next door.
Yeah, that was funny.
I instantly remembered Rob bringing that back up in the old 2012 episode we did Stitches. Like, I forgot about
Made
this.
an
This is
impression on
hilarious.
him.
Yeah. But so it seemed like there was a lot of food at that party.
Yeah.
But
Being thrown
are
by
those cherries, those canned cherries, that delicious?
I don't think so.
Like
I
he's
think
just
it's
sitting in the closet eating
disgusting.
them.
Yeah, I don't think that they're that
I mean,
good.
it's funny. I get it. I don't have a problem with the director making that decision or the writer, but I just, I'm just like, you couldn't put anything else in that closet. You had to
No,
make
like
it
Twinkies or
canned
something. That
cherries.
would be like a better like fat kid joke.
Yeah, maybe for America, maybe not for Ireland or whatever.
Yeah, over there they don't eat Twinkies. They eat fucking black cherries
Yeah.
sitting in syrup.
And that was the other thing that tied back because of the ice cream thing
Oh
at the
yeah,
party because
yeah,
he's
yeah.
scooping his brain out at the end.
Right. Oh yeah, and another genius choice by the director. A funnier thing to have fall and smash on the floor, other than a cake, is a giant Jello mold, which
Yeah,
is what the mom has instead of cake for
yeah.
the kid's birthday party. When she walks out and sees Stitches the clown dead, and Tommy just absolutely covered in his
You think
blood.
that's a common thing,
Jello? I don't think so. That felt weird.
like
And it just
jelly?
felt like a choice, like it just is a funnier looking thing to like fall on the floor. 'Cause
Yeah,
it just like hits and just like wiggles
wiggles
around.
around. Yeah, yeah. Is it? It's
And
a,
we've seen a cake like fall and smash on the floor a million times. That is just funny.
but it's still so pleasing.
It is.
Except for when it's your cake, of
Yeah,
course.
no, yeah, not if my cake. Don't be fucking putting my cake on the ground. Nobody puts cake on the ground. Patrick Swayze. Nobody puts cake on the
Okay, it doesn't matter what the
ground.
line is.
At the time of my life as
Oh,
I'm
you missed
eating a
it.
bunch of cake.
You should have said the cake. You should have said
just
the
sitting,
cake of your life.
just sitting on the ground, like eating it as
Yeah.
that song's playing. Do you love me?
Okay.
Enough dirty dancing,
Yeah.
dirty cake eating.
So you think Ross Noble knows how to juggle? Like before this film, you seem like
Probably.
all right. Like I don't know how
He's
you
a
can be.
stand-up. I don't know like what his act is.
I don't know how you could
I
do
don't know if he's a
bad
character.
juggling without actually being able to juggle.
Yeah. No, it seems like
No,
probably
that's
just
not anything like
a
that to my
skill
eyes.
yeah, probably just a skill he had. The director's like, "Can you juggle?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he just
It's like,
did it.
Can you juggle badly? You think that's hard to do?
Juggle? I
No, no,
can't
no,
do it.
no, no, no. To juggle badly.
To juggle
Just
badly?
think of how hard it is to juggle normal.
Yeah, you probably have to be sort of skilled at it to do it, to like convincingly do it
Because,
poorly in a funny way.
and I'm just saying this because we've seen at least a dozen cases in movies where someone's supposed to juggle badly and they just kind of toss stuff up in the air and it falls. But that's not what he's doing.
No, he did it. He does it successfully a couple times, and then he like kind of messes it up.
But he's like clumsily catching it, but still doing it. So it seemed like there was a lot more skill involved and just
Right.
not knowing how to
I got,
juggle.
I got, I got what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so.
I don't know why that stuck out in my brain.
It's like, it's like,
I don't know how much stuff I knew from the past going into this movie either. So it might be like cryptomnesia or something.
right,
You
like
know?
Jackie, like in a Jackie Chan movie where he has to like pretend to fight badly or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Do you
Yeah.
think Sandy's the most annoying character in this movie, or do you think Richie is? Because well, Richie has that lovable aspect.
Yeah, Sandy is just kind of like detestable all around. She's a very annoying character. And Richie's annoying, but like I don't know, like he didn't rub me as wrong of a way as she did.
Yeah, I mean she does a good job being the bad guy
Yeah, she
for
does.
sure.
And she has like a bitch face too. Like I don't mean that like in a misogynistic
What's
way.
that
But
mean?
she just like you know what that means
No,
when you like see somebody and you're just like, oh, that person's a
I
bitch.
thought she looked like she was actually nice and playing a bitch. It's so
No,
funny you said
I
that.
don't know. I think she's got like kind of like a bitch face.
uh, you know who kind of looks miserable the whole movie is Tommy.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's a haunted character, and they
So I'm just saying he pulls it off pretty well.
yeah, he does. He does. I don't think anybody's really like bad in this movie. Like some of the kids are just a little like playing it like a little Disney Channel over the top, but I don't think anybody's really bad, especially because the characters are supposed to be kind of annoying and obnoxious as well. Some of the stuff didn't like was like how they sexualize some of the children in this movie. I was like, this feels a little gross.
What happened?
Well, like when they're banging and stuff, and they
Oh, as
are,
kids.
yeah,
Oh, I
and
mean
they're like,
teenagers. I mean,
yeah, and they're just like showing like them in their underwear and stuff. Felt a little gross, but
I think there's a different age of statue or
that's what
whatever
I kind of gathered because it's
because
Irish and
when Stitches is in the room and he's pretending to be or he's pretending to be the girl in the bed and he
yeah.
comes out, he says, "You better be 16. I'm not going to jail." So I was like, "Oh, maybe that's the."
Yeah, laws must be a little different over there. I mean, that's just my minor complaint. I just wanted to point
I mean, we
that
just
out.
watched Titan last week, so none of that sexualized stuff stood out to me.
Gotcha. I mean, yeah, I mean, the movie's not as horny as that movie, but few movies are.
Yeah. You think it's any worse than Friday the 13th though? Friday the
No,
13th series?
no, I don't think
Okay.
so. I don't
Okay. I
think
didn't know
so.
if that's what you were trying.
No, no, I don't. I just wanted
Just
to.
something that stood out to you. Why it
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just like, oh, that stands out a little more to me as a 36-year-old than it did,
26-year-old,
26-year-old. I don't know.
closer in age maybe. Is that a normal technique for loading the dishwasher? By the way, is putting the knife upside down.
I put it upside down.
Do you? I don't have a dishwasher, so
Yeah, I put
does
it.
some
Well,
of the water get it?
I put it in blade side down.
Oh, you
That's
do.
how I do
Okay.
it. Yeah. So you're not,
It just seems
reaching in
dangerous.
there to stab your hand or
Well, yeah, that's
whatever.
what I'm thinking. Like you're gonna reach in, grab a plate, and cut your finger.
Yeah, that was like a messed up way to load the
I could
dishwasher.
see it being a way to get the dishes more clean because I imagine the water sprays up on a dishwasher, right?
Yeah.
Actually, know very little about dishwashers. I just realized
I don't really know how they work either. I just
you
put it
just hit the
that way
button.
down. Yeah, I put it in there and put the soap in and let it let the little gnomes that work in there wash the dishes and they
You
eat the
ever
soap.
squirt soap in your mouth and pop bubbles out
Yeah, all the
like
time.
Stitches and then get
Yes.
slammed in the
Yep.
dude? That's funny. That is probably one of the. I don't know why. That's probably one of the funniest parts of the movie to me. Not him doing the bubbles things, but his reaction after he gets hit with the fridge door. because it's so cartoony. He's just kind of puts his face back and he's like, "Meh, meh, meh."
Yeah, there's a lot of cartoony stuff in this movie. A lot of sound effects. A lot of when he gets hit in the face, it honks.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. The funniest scene is him riding the tricycle.
Oh yeah,
That couldn't have been easy to do in those shoes.
yeah. No.
I'd love to see like how many takes they had to get him trying to
Right.
ride that. But maybe it's easy with the shoes. I don't know. They probably don't bend though, right? Clown shoes. Because
I
run
don't know
around
how
like flopping
flexible they would
around,
be.
right?
No, probably not. Or like uh Sideshow Bob, his feet are just that big,
Yeah.
as shown in the
So are
Simpsons.
Ross Nobles.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a weird fit trivia on the IMDb trivia is like his feet are actually
Yeah, they actually couldn't even use real clown shoes because his feet were so big.
they had to they had to
They
sew
had to
it
go to a
around it.
they had to go to a big and tall clown store.
They went to where Shaq gets his shoes.
Yeah. Okay. So what what would you give this movie now out of five?
I think I'd give it a 3.5.
I think I'm right there with you.
It's not the best movie, but it's definitely
It's
really
above
funny.
par for sure.
Yeah. It's
Super
above
realistic.
average. It's funny. It's got a good the Stitches is a good, you know, movie character.
Everyone's
Um
well cast.
everyone's well cast. They sort of look like the kids when they're little.
Yeah, they did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
Really good. Like they almost didn't even have to put like in the beginning sequence. They put a little portrait of the kid next to the actor.
Yeah, and that was
They
also
almost didn't even have to
helpful.
do that.
Yeah, but it was also helpful so I knew what the characters' names were, even though I don't really remember them. I remember Tommy and Kate, but that's about it.
I love how I can remember like half the cast characters' names for this movie, but I
Couldn't even
couldn't
remember the
remember.
actor's name,
All I
and
could
no, and
remember
he's
was Jupe and Angel.
yep. I remember Kiki Palmer.
But,
Yeah, I don't.
all right. Yeah. Any final thoughts?
No, I definitely check out Stitches. It's if you don't, it's
If
on
you
Amazon
haven't,
Prime. It's also on Freebie. So if you don't have, Prime or anything, you can watch it for free. There's ads on it. So you'll get to, like me, get to watch an ad for like osteoporosis medicine and like you get to watch the trailer for 2005's Bewitched.
I feel like we just talked about Bewitched for some reason, like a month ago or two.
Yeah, Golden was talking about I don't remember why, but the movie is directed by someone of renown. I don't remember her other movies. Now it's gonna drive me nuts because they covered it on Blank Check. It's somebody that they did on Blank Check. Who did
I don't really remember anything about the movie. It was almost erased from my brain.
Yeah, I don't remember. All I remember about the movie is Will Ferrell's in it and Nicole Kidman's in it, and she plays a real witch, and they're doing a remake of the TV show Bewitched, but she's also a real witch for some reason. It's so
Sounds cool.
dumb. And no, it isn't. It's a cursed, weird ass movie.
All right, Golden. Well, good luck with your robot feet. We'll see you next week as you hop your way over here
Yep. Yeah.
in a
Yep.
single bound.
Bounce over here. Bye. Bye.